Welcome back. In our series of Mahan and Mahabooks, we have been talking about the formative years of people that have reached some amount of eminence in life. And in Mahabooks, we give glimpse of good books. I had a poll on Twitter in which the overall voting was that 50% of the 500 votes voted for life of bankers and industrialists, 25% for people in public life, 10% for musicians and artists, sportsmen, and remaining 15% for innovators and scientists. So I will modulate my episodes accordingly. Next episode I'll be giving it on a banker, but this time I came across someone who I thought we should speak as a joint combo episode of Mahan and Mahabooks. Yes, today we will speak about the book called Backstage, which is this book, and the Mahan, and the life that we are going to speak is about the famous economist Montek'S AHLUWALIA. First about this book. This book has been recently published. It is priced at 595 rupees, but most of the online stores are selling it just under 400 rupees. This book is in 4 parts. The first part is about the formative and personal life of the author Montek'S AHLUWALIA. The second part is about the journey towards economic reforms, which started in a big way in 1991. Third part is implementation of economic reforms between 1991 and for the next 10 years under different regimes. The third about the UPA and the regime that is in which Montek'S was a part. So all these parts are part of the economic history of the country. As all of you know, history is a big teacher. We must learn political history, we must learn cultural history, we must learn social history, and along with that, it is very important in modern age to know about economic history. So this is an insider who has seen things happening, and rightly it is known as Backstage. The book has been titled as Backstage. There is a lot to learn from it. I am reading it, I am halfway through it, but I strongly recommend it. And so this is the Mahabooks for this episode. Now coming back to the man. As I told, we look at formative years of the Mahan people, Mahan meaning extraordinary. So from how they become from Sadharan to Mahan, that is from average to extraordinary. Montek'S was born in Rawalpindi in the year 1943, 4 years before independence. His father was a clerk in the defense services of Government of India. From Rawalpindi he came back to Amritsar. The mother name was Pushp. She was a graduate, mind you, in the year 1940, but she was a housewife to begin with. So very ordinary life. And when in 1948 Hyderabad was taken over by Vallabhbhai Patel, by the army, defeating the Nizam who was threatening to declare independence, as a defense accountant, he was transferred to Hyderabad. And Montek'S went along with the family, and funnily enough, his initial education started in a girls' school, because in that convent girls' school, all girls' school, boys up to the age of 8 were permitted to study with the girls. So a very funny beginning of education of this economist who became very famous later on. And later on he moved to a boys' high school, and when he was 14, that is in the age of 1957, his father took a decision that the whole family must go back to Delhi. At that time, the father was going to retirement, mother took a job as secretary to the director of Indian Council of Cultural Relations, and Montek got admitted into Delhi Public School. In Delhi Public School, Montek remembers his early years as a formation of friends and teachers, where a teacher named Mrs. Nair used to lend classics for Montek to study. So devouring books in DPS. Later on, after coming out of the school, he joined the famous St. Stephen's College because he topped the National Merit Scholarship, and with a scholarship of 100 rupees per month, he joined St. Stephen's College. And in St. Stephen's College, what he remembers are 3 important things. One is the debating society. He used to say it was very boring. People used to adore Jawaharlal Nehru and Jawaharlal Nehru's policies. But however, they used to look forward outside of the boring debates into people from other thoughts, like communists, like the right wings coming and denouncing Jawaharlal Nehru's policies, and the engagement that is called a debate, where you non-emotionally engage with a different point of view, where you objectively assess based on facts, has shaped his life. And after that, he was selected as a Rhodes Scholar. Again, there is a very funny incident, and he doesn't come out of the fact that luck has played a big role in his life. Because Rhodes Scholar used to specify, Rhodes Scholarship, that you must also be a sportsman in addition to being a good scholar. In that particular year, it was relaxed that a well-rounded personality, even if you are not a sportsman, can also apply for Rhodes Scholarship. He was selected, he went to Oxford, where he opted for philosophy, political science, and economics. And again, another funny thing he used to say, and that is also very inspirational, that there are a lot of good economists during that period who used to come and lecture in Oxford. And they were not very good teachers at all. But people used to go and sit in their lectures thinking that, yes, having attended those famous lectures, they can quote in later life. So this was his life in Oxford. He became president of Oxford Union, and later he was selected as a young professional in the World Bank, where before that he declined a job offer from Unilever, and he went and started working as a young economist under the YP, or Young Professional Program, in World Bank. There he met his would-be wife, Isar. Isar was a bright student from MIT, and she was doing her internship there. And later on, Montec writes that Isar was very, very scared of people from good colleges and good universities like Montec. And Montec says that she used to say that she always thought that people from these backgrounds were snobs, they are hollow inside. But what gave the advantage to Montec was his sense of humor. So he again brings back the importance of sense of humor. I have personally met Montek's Singh when I was doing a project on private equity when I was with SBI. He was a simple soul, and right now, based on his, whatever I told is based on his own book, but that is Montec for you, a simple believer in luck, and also, taking forward things as they come rather than planning quite a lot of it. Aiming was good, but he did it as it came. So next time we'll discuss about a banker. Till that time, goodbye.